Okay, if you have a toilet or multiple toilets that are constantly backing up or not flushing well, look at your habits, the way you lived. If somebody's going to the bathroom in the middle of the night and not flushing the toilets, that's a big cause of urine salts will build up in the outlet of the toilet. And so you really want to flush the toilet after every use. I personally, I tried to unplug a toilet with a toilet auger. The toilet auger wouldn't go through, so I ended up pulling the toilet up, and the 2-inch outlet on the bottom of the toilet was pinched down to about the size of a quarter because the son was using the toilet at night and not flushing. So the homeowner, I talked to his mom and I was like, you really need a new toilet. This thing's completely plugged up with urine salts. And she told me that toilet's only 2 years old because we just replaced it because of the same problem. So urine salts can be plugging your toilet up. It can be elderly people too. They're trying to conserve water. I'm back to water's cheaper than a plumber. Go ahead and flush the toilet. Also, if you're using flushable wipes or if somebody in the house is using flushable wipes, those can be plugging the toilet up. They don't disintegrate. Let's say it's a combination of the two. You got urine salts plugging up the passageway. The passageway is not as big. Now you're using flushable wipes. So you've created two problems, and it's a domino effect on top of each other. The new toilets use less water. They're 1.6 gallon per flush. Now they're going to 1.2 gallon per flush. We can get a stronger flush by raising the water level in the tank up to about a 1/2 inch below the overflow tube. The higher we can get the water level, the stronger flush we get. The problem is we're very limited on how high we can get that water. The toilets are designed to only hold so much water in the bowl, so sometimes you have a very small footprint. Older toilets have a 3-gallon flush. Some of them had a 5-gallon flush. So nowadays, you gotta flush that toilet. It's using less water than 25 years ago. So go ahead and flush those toilets. Don't use flushable wipes. There are differences in toilets. There's builder grade toilets. So a typical outlet or a typical flush valve is a 2-inch flush valve. Okay, that's where your flapper is inside the toilet tank. They do make toilets now, and there's a ton of them out there with a 3-inch flush valve, or even a 3.5-inch flush valve, where now when you hit the handle and that flapper comes up, that whole tank of water is going down at one time, so you got a much stronger flush, and those toilets can handle, they've got a higher capacity of flush. So you can also upgrade your toilets if you're having problems with the cheap builder grade toilet. Sometimes they don't have a flush jet in the bottom. The flush jet is the quarter size hole in the bottom of the bowl, and that kind of gets everything lined up and going in the same direction as the toilet flushes. So the cheap toilets, sometimes you don't even see a flush jet in them. So you can upgrade your toilet, and a lot of times that'll take care of your problem too. I know some people use a ton of toilet paper. It's not a good idea, and I know for some reason there's toilet paper out there with lotion in it, and the lotion toilet paper doesn't want to flush as well as just typical cheap toilet paper. If you're gonna use a big wad of toilet paper, you probably want to flush in between uses, because that toilet paper, it needs to disintegrate. I would stay away from the lotion toilet paper. There's something about it. It doesn't absorb water, and it just doesn't, it wants to float, and it doesn't want to disintegrate. So the type of toilet paper you use can make a difference also.